Hello. This is Joaquin.
Took the circles off. Hey, what's up? It's Jay.
And this is Jay. I don't know what he's talking about. This is the Overflow Podcast at thisisoutcry.com. This is episode number 11. We are
past 10.
We made it past 10. We are on the come up.
Forget that. We made it past 1.
That's true. The fact that we made 1, I think, is actually, we took that first step and we then took the second step. I think we're doing pretty okay. I guess.
It doesn't really surprise me that we did the first one.
Right, because we're good at the first one.
Right, we're good at starting, but not really following through.
Following
right?
through is
like our starting. Most times, our start has also been our finish.
Yes. Right? So
We're
we're
big enough to admit it, right? So
yeah, sure. I'm not admitting anything. You're admitting a lot of stuff. I don't know what Jay's talking about. I don't know what the stuff he's admitting is.
Man, we're up to episode 11, man, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. For those of you that have been with us this whole time, what's up? We're glad that you are still with us, and for anyone that might catch this on the sly, accidentally even, hello.
Yeah,
we're so glad that you're here with us.
I think I saw yet another country
really?
On the stats.
Like another faraway land?
Yeah. I if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken because,
right,
I am mistaken plenty of times.
Right, exactly.
I think it was Ireland.
I
think it was Dublin.
Nice. So I don't have an Irish accent, so I'm not even going to try one.
I don't either, but it'll
come out weird.
It's funny. I
won't do
weird.
A Lucky Charms joke either.
It's weird for me to say that I have friends in Dublin because I guess it's this whole like social media like phenomenon, right? Because like I'm thinking Dublin, right? And I'm like, oh, I know people in Dublin, but I don't, but I do. Right? Because there are people that follow me on Instagram that I'm connected to on Instagram.
Right.
That
but
are,
you don't really know them.
No, I don't know them, right? But we converse, right? We have conversations. We speak to each other, right? So there's like a bit of a familiarity,
right? We like you like each other's pictures.
Like we know of each other. Yeah, we like each other's pictures. But even then, even like conversations are had right through there or through Facebook or whatever. So it's like. It's a false sense of friendship, right? Because like, hey, I've got friends in Ireland.
Nice.
No,
not really.
No, you don't. Yeah, thinking about it now, she's not in Ireland. She's in Scotland. Same thing. But
no, it's not. My Irish friends, no, it's not. I will stand up for you.
But no,
my Scottish friends. No, it's not.
But listen. Right? So it's so.
As I say, Dominican Republic is the same thing. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just
same thing as what?
As Puerto Rico.
Well, it is
because they're islands.
No,
is that it? Because just because the
Scottish, our cultures are the same.
Because the Scottish,
our cultures are the same. Our food is the same.
A little weird.
It's the
same.
Our people are the same.
They both have bland food. So it's the same.
But listen, what I was talking about is that phenomenon of like, I don't even know what to call it. But I want to say false friendships, but they're not really false friendships because there is a bit of a connection.
They're like the phenomenon of worldwide acquaintances. There we go.
Let's just say of social media, right?
Because just because you're friends,
Because
I'm friends with people from Australia. I don't talk to them though.
But you talk to them at your church because you got the
No, there's different Australians.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Because I've got friends in Japan. Right, but these are like actual friends.
Right, people you actually know.
That I know I went to college with.
Saw them face to face.
And they went back to Japan and we
shook their hand.
I'm glad for Facebook for that reason because I can still talk to him. Right? In China and whatever, and all these other countries, of course, Poland, all these places, right?
Right.
But then there are these people that you only met virtually because you connect with them on social media, and it's almost like this faux friendship. There you go. That's what I call it. It's faux friendship.
Faux friendship. Sounds so sad. Sounds really sad. Sounds like a guy in a room with the lights off,
but
the glow of the computer screen on his face.
It's a false connection, right? Because if you go out to this country, right, and they could walk right past you. You don't know who it is.
No.
Even wait.
But I think you would. I think you would hit him up and be like, "Let's hang out."
Yeah. But even though,
and then you meet him, you're like, "I don't really want to."
I
hang out with
remember
this guy.
when I used to perform. One time we had an event. I forgot where we went. You and I, where we went.
Oh, we did.
And someone stopped me,
right?
Because, like, their question to me was like, "Hey, are you J Manuel? I think I follow you on Twitter."
I don't remember that.
I was just like,
maybe.
It was like, you probably do, and like, I wouldn't know.
What are your intentions? Like, why do you want? Is there a blade? Do I see a blade? No,
I can't believe you remember this. You made fun of me for months for this.
But you know,
and we just like gave him. We signed and gave him CDs, so it was kind of cool.
But you know, I mean, I make fun of a lot of stuff. You can't expect me just to remember all of it. I mean, it's just it's like water flowing. It's just constant.
Yeah, that's true.
Constant mockery is my life.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
So, but you know, here's what it is.
Anyway,
so how was your week? Let's just kind of start with, you know, how's
serious?
Yes, you know,
I don't want to talk about my week. My week has been rough.
It's been rough. Poor Jay. He's had a rough week.
I've had a rough week at work.
Well, you know, work is.
I'm grateful to God for my job. Don't get me wrong.
But it's just been my week has been awesome.
It's been a rough week. You know, we're implementing a new system,
right?
A work related system that's like changing our workflow. I don't know what this is, but it's kind of cool. And we've been rolling it out little by little this week,
right?
But it's funny how a corporation as big as the one that I work for, right, with properties in different states across the country, and they rolled it out like everywhere, right?
At once.
Not at once. There are places that have been like a week or two before, right? But it may as well be all at once.
Because the bugs are still the same, right?
The bugs,
right?
Everything.
It's like you've been dealing with this for like 3 weeks, and you give it to us, and it's still here. I'm talking to people from other buildings, and they're like, "Yeah, we've had that problem."
I've had to send stuff.
It's amazing.
I've had to send stuff out to print, and like the pages are showing up all messed up because of the new system, and the new system is showing these pages as unfinished.
Right.
But I'm looking at the pages and they're done. Everything's greenlit, and I gotta send them, but the system won't let me because
right. That can be very frustrating. I don't understand,
but I
get it. I don't understand. Do I really care? Maybe.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. Right? For a long time, for months, like people were being sent to Atlanta from other properties to train for this new system.
Right.
But the people that are in Atlanta that have to use this system daily, we were not trained. Our training was a 20-minute conversation yesterday.
Your training was going on while you were training. That's pretty much like, I think that's how let's figure this out together.
I was like, all right, yeah, okay, cool, I got it. Can I go?
Yeah, it's
one of those, hands-on.
I totally get it. Totally understand that. So, all right, so work has been crappy for you.
I don't want to talk about
work has been all right for me. So, I don't care. Let's see what else we got going on. It's been a crazy. So we just celebrated Easter. And Jay's like touching everything I have, and he's gonna set a fire soon because he just starts leave the lighter alone. So we just celebrated Easter this past week. Easter service at our church was awesome. They had like a play, and then invitation for people to.
Okay, so check this out. You know how I have referred to my church as a vanilla church,
right?
Like in the beginning of this podcast,
right? Because it's mostly white people
and mostly like soft people. So
soft,
yes, soft, like hood term, soft. So
okay, sure.
So like service on Easter Sunday was dope. Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, whatever you want to call it, just call it, right? I call it, and I mentioned this, I kind of forgot that it was a vanilla church. So I went to take the bean to the nursery. And then, there weren't a lot of kids there. And I'm like, oh, no, they're coming. There are a lot of kids in the sanctuary, right?
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, yeah, well, it's Easter Sunday. We got the one-time Christians, right? And I expected that. I expected laughter,
right?
Right? No, I got the. What does that mean? It's like it means exactly what you think it means. The people that show up one time, one time a year, or either one-time Christians or two-time Christians,
right?
Because it's either. And then there's they
show up for Christmas.
The phenomenon that is the three-time Christians, right? And the one time is either Easter or Christmas. Take your pick.
Right.
Most times it's Easter because, churches do that big push to invite a friend. People go to church on Easter, invite a friend, right?
Right.
The two-time is Christmas and Easter. And then the the three-time is the one that shows up to as a gift to their mom for Mother's Day.
Ah. Yeah.
Hey, Mom, what do you want for Mother's Day? I just want you to cut a church with me, son.
Right.
Darn. Okay, I'll be there.
I'll meet you at the house. Yeah. No, I mean, it must have been that one person though. That's not really.
It was three people.
That's not really. No, that's not really a vanilla church thing. That might just be your church thing because I know plenty of churches where they totally would have just busted out laughing about it.
Oh, it was no. I'm saying it was my church specifically because I looked at them funny. Of course, Magda's laughing.
I mean, listen, I've been to churches with a pastor. It's just always hilarious to me. He gets up and he's like, "Hey, I want to thank all of you that have come today. So you should feel good because you got your one Sunday out of the way for the year."
That's what I said. Like I said, I told him, well, really, you find that offensive? I mean, I've said it from the pulpit. When I used to pass, I used to say, hey, all right, it's Easter. Thank you for showing up. And for those of you that just came today, see you same time, same day next year. Right? And everybody laughs. They don't get offended. They laugh. I mean, they can't fight. They can't argue with it, right?
Right.
So,
it's just, listen, I'm going to keep my theories to myself. But, it has nothing to do with being a vanilla church. That's not what's going on.
I meant it was specifically my church. My church was.
That's not because they're vanilla. That's a whole nother thing going on there. It's a whole nother thing. But yeah, man. But Easter was dope. I had lunch with my folks and fixed my mom's computer. That was my Easter. I didn't get any candy. I was a little disappointed.
No, we had a Polish Easter. So we celebrated.
So you celebrated on Saturday?
We celebrated it the way they do out there, which is really cool. Because I think there is some things to be said for some rituals. Some rituals are nice, right? That they do things to remind you,
right,
and bring you closer to the Father. And some rituals are just ridiculous, right? But the Poles, they bless the food on Saturday that they're gonna cook on Sunday, right? So I got all the food together. We went shopping by the food. And pray for the food, and then put it away, because and it's also it's a way of giving thanks to God for providing.
Okay.
Right.
So you didn't have to pray on Sunday for the food.
No,
it's already been blessed.
No, because we blessed the food on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we gave thanks. You just give thanks to God and then it's almost like a setup for the year. I mean, it meant a lot to me because of I count each year by where I was, right? If I take it back to from homelessness to janitor at Home Depot corporate to freezing my butt off as a security guard outside and then doing the private party, just anything to now, the position I'm in now where I'm an art director now, it's if you're looking back and it's not even way back, these recent years, but I've got a lot to give, to be thankful for. I got a lot. Yeah. So it was, and then, just the whole learning from other cultures and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who cares about other cultures? That's Joaquin's take on other cultures. Who cares? But no, cool. So, all right. So the big thing this weekend.
All right. So did we get it out the way? Can we talk about this now?
So the big thing. So before we talk about that, Now, that's why I'm doing this, because what did I just say earlier about me continuously always harassing and mocking?
Nah, you're a jerk.
Well, you know, I learned
it by watching you.
The best. I learned to mock from the best. It was my father and my uncles. That's all they do. It's just mock. But all right, so this weekend, all right, so we'll talk about it now. So if you hear like all kinds of water and all kinds of stuff, that's just Jay just not being prepared and getting water before we started. Jerk. All right, so this Friday,
the cat that you have in this house is killing me soft.
Well, you know,
the past Friday.
Well, look, man, let's just, you know, you're coming over here. You pass by like what? Probably 4 or 5 drugstores. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. This past weekend,
son,
was the movie event of the lifetime for me and Jay. Of the lifetime. Batman v Superman, ladies and gentlemen, finally came out. Yay! And I think me and Jay are like like 2 out of maybe 20 people that just loved the movie.
No, you know, I think everyone that I've spoken to at my job that has seen it,
right,
feels the same way.
Even the guys in India?
They love it. Oh my gosh. The guys in India have been hitting me up at work and on Facebook. It's like, I don't know what these people are talking about. The movie was awesome.
Yeah, so Batman v Superman came out. Now, we're not gonna delve too deep into the review aspect of it, because there's a couple of other things we want to hit real quick.
You do?
Yeah. The TV show and the curse.
Yeah. And the other things.
I will say, and the other things. I will say this. You know, objectively speaking, if I may for a second, the movie did have a couple of issues. However, overall,
it did.
The movie was fantastic. This is and I've said it, and some people look at me like I'm crazy. This is the best cinematic Batman ever. Period.
For me, it's both the best Batman and the best Superman. Right. And I mean, if you know me, you know that I'm like a big time hardcore Superman fan.
Right.
I even named my son Kal-El. Right. So hardcore. And like I grew up on the Christopher Reeve Superman. Right. Which I thought that for that time was awesome, because it was a reflection of that time. Great, right. But for now, for this time.
Right. And he was definitely like that bright. He was that Marvel Superman. Like, he was kind of bright, you know, like, you know, gosh, golly gee.
I mean, that's actually how he used to speak. Right. So, you know, for me, I Batfleck, the best Batman in a movie ever, hands down. Hands down.
He would take all the other Batman and he would beat them into the ground. But not that I, you know, condone violence. Only a little.
It's superhero violence, right? So anyway,
so it's not real.
Anyway, right? Like, if you know me, if you had conversations with me,
right?
You've been unhappy with the fact that I've said that Christian Bale's Batman was just okay for me,
right?
Like, I'm not a big fan of it, right? I prefer the Keaton Batman over Bale's Batman. But Batfleck, hands down, best Batman.
Hands down.
Best Batman. And I think we talked about this. I'm sure we talked about this. I love that this movie wasn't just focused on him in the Batsuit, right?
Right.
This movie focused on him being Bruce Wayne. Acting like Bruce Wayne, you know, like the fake guy, the fake persona that he's out with the girls all the time.
Right. And then the cocky.
Right.
Kind
and then also him being the detective that he is. Because I read a review somewhere where they was like, oh, he was supposed to be the world's greatest detective, but he didn't know that Luthor was doing it. It's like, dude, you must have seen a whole other movie. Because he knew since the jump that Luthor had the kryptonite.
That Luthor was up to something.
And he was doing something, right?
Right.
He just didn't tell Alfred.
Right.
Right. He was telling Alfred a different story.
Well,
because Alfred was trying to stop him from doing what he was doing.
Right. Well, but he, you know, Alfred knew he was going after Luthor. Because remember, he in the scene where he helped him out. But I think but at the same time, though, right? Luthor in the comics, he's like one of the smartest men.
Right.
Period. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Batman would be on the periphery of figuring out what it is, and Luthor would be behind that, like just manipulating things. So that's not beyond the
Luthor has backup plans for backup plans for backup plans.
Yeah, I mean,
right, and he makes sure that he stays far away from anything,
so that nothing can be tied to him. So I mean, that to me was kind of a weak. Oh, how did he know? I just love the fact. Now I love the fact too that not only was he the detective, but he was the detective as Bruce Wayne too.
Right,
which was pretty cool. Not just he wasn't just like the detective as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, and he was doing this stuff. So that was very, very cool. So me and Jay, man, we give that movie 8 thumbs up. We loved it. Matter of fact, I will probably go see it Saturday.
Yeah,
in my mind, I have got a plan.
You already know. I saw it Friday.
Right.
Just like we saw it Friday.
We saw it Friday.
And then I went again. Like I went to the gym first. Like,
oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because Magda had an appointment at 9:00 for her the coach approach thing.
Oh, okay.
So after that, we came home. And we needed, it's like, we came home, dropped Magda and Cal off at the house.
Just went to the movie.
And went straight to the movie.
Shower. The people next to you were like, "Some stinks. What stinks in here? Some smells like sweat.
It smells like justice."
It smells like justice. Yeah, I was going to go with you. You never hit me up. But I kind of slept. I went to bed really late on Friday because I was hanging out. But,
and then that's the thing, right? Also, what I liked about this movie is that, like, when I'm looking at Junie, right? He is like my mini me all the way through,
right? And Junie's 15 years old,
and he's 15. And when I saw like how he was impacted, because of course he grew up a Superman fan because of me,
right,
and he read the
bad
comics.
Influences.
He read the comics that I gave him, so he's all about it. So when I saw the way he was responding and reacting to the movie, and the way he reacted to like the big thing at the end, right, I was like that. I was like, this is the reason why.
Yeah,
this movie needed to be made. Right.
Yeah, and it makes it cool. Like, it's like the idea of getting to see the 2 biggest comic book icons.
3.
Well, I'm just saying though, like they're the 3 biggest. But I'm saying
plus the whole Batman Superman thing.
But I'm saying the 2 biggest.
Right.
Like, as much as crazy cool as Wonder Woman is, she's like number 3.
Yeah, she is.
Right. So the two biggest icons, right? I mean, the cartoons and the animated movies
and all the different types of movies,
and then all the different types of movies where they didn't even exist in those universes, and then to get them both on like this screen when the Batman Superman fight. I mean, because everybody knows they're gonna fight. The Batman Superman fight was amazing. And what was surprising, and this isn't a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, but what was surprising is that there was an actual winner, because I really thought they were gonna try to manipulate it to where it's like, oh, it's a draw. Yeah, no, like there was
a clear winner.
Down,
it was a clear winner, and I think that is what bothered Junior. Right? It was like, always with this whole thing. I was like, dude, but there's no other way. But there's no other way. But if you pay attention to the storyline, right, and with the direction and the reasonings behind like Batman's madness behind it, right, like, it makes total sense.
Well, and it shows you Batman, and it shows you, it shows you Batman in all his best comic book aspects, right? Batman the detective, Batman the awesome fighter, Batman the planner, where he just doesn't just do crazy stuff just to go do crazy stuff.
Let's go to the storyline of these movies, right? Man of Steel was Superman first coming out and appearing. No training, no learning. Right. He just depended on his just super strength, right? All he did all he did was throw haymakers to everybody.
That's all he had to do,
right? Exactly. So in this one,
and even then, he almost loses to Zod because Zod had training.
Not even forget Zod. He lost to Feora.
Yes,
Feora knocked his butt around Smallville, right?
She was trained.
Yeah, exactly. So in this one, we see the trained, seasoned fighter bringing this god, right? To his level,
this rookie god,
to his level. I guess no fighting skills, no nothing. Just, it was
so great. Whatever. I'm so excited. This is gonna be my Saturday.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see it again.
I'm gonna get up early on Saturday and watch the first showing.
2 more times at least.
Right. I'm gonna get up early on Saturday and watch the first showing, and then I'm going to Probably go to the record store. Go to the record store. That's gonna be my great Saturday. And then on Sunday, I might actually just be like, "Hey, pops, do you want to go watch Batman? Superman? Just find like any old theater, not even watch it in the biggest theater. Just
sure. I can take my nephews as an excuse too.
just watch any old theater. And then I got my friend Pilar who wants to see it. So I'll hit one of them up Sunday. Probably like, "Hey, you guys want to watch a movie?"
That's dope.
So yeah, man. So we got.
I mean, and even Wonder, it was amazing to see.
Great flick. If you love comic books, if you're a fan, if you know comic books, it's definitely a great movie to go watch as a comic book fan. But it is not a Marvel movie, so let's go ahead and throw that out there. It's not going to be quippy one-liners and bright colors. This is a dark Batman.
It's more of a realistic
Superman movie. It's a what happens, what are the consequences of a super being all of a sudden popping up. So it's great flick. So with that,
moving on.
So moving on to that. So that we talked about a couple
weeks, a whole show on that.
Yes, a couple of weeks back we talked about this TV show called for was it For Prophets and Kings or For Kings and Prophets?
Whatever, that one. For
Kings and Prophets, and it already got canceled. they
showed two episodes and it got canceled.
They got canceled. And so if any of you watched it, good for you, because you were like one of the few people that did. Like no one else watched it. And and I'm not surprised. Honestly, it was cool. I'm not actually surprised. Me and Jay, we're not going to get into it here, but me and Jay had talked a lot about kind of the things that some of the problems we had with it, which ended up actually being borne out when I was reading an article about why the movie got canceled, because one of the producers was talking about how they wanted to make it into a Game of Thrones, basically Game of Thrones for broadcast television,
for the TV.
And the problem with that is that David's story is not Game of Thrones. There's really not that. Really, the reality is really not that deep of an intrigue like you have in Game of Thrones.
But the funny thing is this, right?
And
if
you
were to do an actual show on the actual story of David in the Bible,
right?
It's so intriguing in and of itself.
Yes.
You don't need to add or take away anything from it.
Right.
Right. And the article that I sent you, what I liked when I read it, was the fact that the problems that we had with it was basically the reason why they took it off the air. Right. Not that we had anything to do with it.
No.
Right. But
people weren't reacting well to it.
Yeah. Other people were responding to the same things that we were responding to, or reacting to the same things.
Yeah, like Samuel was all wrong. There was a lot of sex in
David was all wrong.
Actually, it would be cool if they took it. It would be a better mini series, I think, than it would be a television. Than like a full on TV series.
Well, now it's just canceled. So
yeah.
Well, there you go. Guys. So if you didn't get to see it, okay, cool. Don't even bother. And if you did get to see it, then
sorry,
it's finished.
It's done. 2 episodes. I mean, that leads us to the curse. Me and Jay have this thing we call the curse. If anytime a television show comes on, it seems like that me and him really like. If me and him are really, really liking a show,
it gets canceled.
Whether the premise is because we like the premise, whatever, yeah, it gets canceled. And it'll always get canceled like really like second episode, or they'll make it 10 episodes in and then they cancel it. And you're just like, why? Why? At least end it. Let me have some kind of conclusion or some kind of closure.
On that note, there are rumors that there will be a 3rd season of Young Justice.
Oh, I know. I've been reading for that. And I just finished watching it a couple months back. I watch almost every 6 to 8 months. I watch all of Young Justice, and then I watch all of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, like just here and there, like bits and pieces here and there.
My daughter Milena sent me an image yesterday of a cartoon series called Legion of Superheroes, and it's like a teenage Superman. Like a teenage Superman, right, with the Legion, with the Legion of Superheroes. Huh. It's on Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah,
it was an old show, wasn't it?
I
think that was like an old. So. I think it was like an old. I remember.
It's not that old.
Like,
it's not that old, but it was. I saw the first episode.
Early 2000.
I saw the first episode yesterday. It was pretty cool.
And then from here we're gonna kind of veer off into the topic. Then this has nothing to do with the topic. But did you ever like the Powerpuff Girls?
Yes, I did actually.
They're coming out with 40 new episodes.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm hoping that is successful enough for them to bring back Samurai Jack because it's the same people.
Right.
Because
I think Samurai Jack is on Amazon Prime.
I'm a real big Samurai Jack.
I liked it, but I never really. It's funny because I watched a few episodes and I liked it, and the animation is amazing, but it was one of those shows that I liked, but I never sunk into it for whatever reason. I've
seen every single episode.
So so Powerpuff Girls coming back, which is pretty awesome. I think I heard they're talking about Samurai Jack movie. Actually, I think I've read something.
That would be great too.
So
as long as Samurai Jack is brought back in some kind of way,
right,
I'm good.
Right. So we got that going on. But with that being said, we've got so as we start transitioning, the one thing we do want to point out is, why don't you say, Jake, since you're more connected to it than I am,
that last week our third party member and we went to meet with the people from Atlanta Fest. Now, for you guys that are Atlanta natives here for a while, you know that,
or Georgia natives,
right? Atlanta Fest has been something that has been here for a long time, and it took a break, and it'll be back this year. It'll be back this June 16th through 18th.
Awesome.
At Strong Rock Christian School in Locust Grove.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's going to have
not that far.
Toby Mac, Jeremy Camp, Mercy Me, NF, Young Noah, Holland. I mean, just a bunch of artists.
And that is,
and we'll be there.
And
we'll be there June 16th through 18th at Strong Rock Christian School in Locust Grove. Yeah, we'll be there hanging out.
I'll be there pushing artists off the stage and taking over.
Hanging out.
You know who this is?
Praying, just connecting with them. So we want to all our 16 listeners.
All our 16 listeners, hey, you guys are invited. You pay your own way, though. I'm inviting you, but you pay your own way.
Exactly.
We're not paying for it.
And
I don't know you guys like that.
One last thing, because this is very necessary that I say this. I brain farted.
Yes.
May 14th.
May 14th.
May 14th will be our
at
first
Vineyard Community Church
Outcry event. This is Outcry event at Vineyard Community Church, and that is found. The address to that is 2692 Sandy Plains Road. It doesn't matter. May 14th, we just confirmed Cannon as our main artist to be with us.
That was a Cannon.
That was a Cannon? Yeah. No. He'll be with us. We're going to have our first outreach event at the Vineyard, May 14th for This Is Outcry and The Shift.
Yes.
So all this information will be on the website, and we can't wait.
Yes, that'll be that's exciting stuff. I'm excited for us to get started, and then we got some dates that we'll be setting up apparently in New York, because apparently we got invited to do a couple of sessions up in New York. Of events.
This is so funny.
So what's going on?
I just got a text from a buddy of mine in South Carolina saying, hey, when is the Outcry event? I have a friend that'll plug it on the radio on his talk show tomorrow.
There we go. So text him later, because we got to finish our thing.
Nah, go ahead. Let's start it and let's finish it.
So,
because
so we
got
texted. So we got a couple of things. New York, we got some things we're going to be cooking up for probably later in the summer. So we're super excited about that. So we'll keep you guys updated. So
and everything will be on the website anyways. Right?
Yeah, everything will be on.
ThisisOutcry.com.
Go check it out. New York, I'm coming back. I'm coming for you. I'm like,
it's so silly.
I'm coming to Gotham. So I'm gonna be there. With that being said, so this week, if you guys followed any of the posts on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, we Jay posted the video and the devotional this week for the topic. So with that being said, last week I kind of ran the thing, but this week we're going to give it back to Jay, back to its proper place. So Jay,
what up, though?
What is today's topic? What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about taking the L.
Taking the L. Are we riding a train? What's going on?
Riding a train.
Wah, wah.
It's basically, taking the loss, taking the hit. Right. And it's fun. I mean, hey, if you like the picture, give my son his social club a shout out. They actually posed for that purposely. Not for this topic.
Not for this topic. They posed for that it was 2 years ago.
It was because you see how small Junior is? But it was for something that I was gonna do. But then the inspiration came after seeing the picture for this topic. But I was thinking about last week. Last week we were trying to think of a topic to do for this week, right?
This week,
because the thing is that Joaquin and I text each other so much with ideas and show ideas and just other things that we don't write them down like we're supposed to. Yeah, we don't write them down and put them in the notes app or whatever. So then it hit me, right? It hit me the mentality, thinking of the mentality or the mindset of a servant, or just like the way things seem a little bit backwards when it comes to kingdom thinking, right? Because in church right now, Pastor Tommy, he's doing a series on what's the kingdom like.
Okay.
Right. So he's touching on all these other things, how in the kingdom this looks like this, in the kingdom this looks like that, right?
Right.
So then I started thinking on my own,
that's good.
In the kingdom, you got to lose to be a winner. Right.
Okay.
In the kingdom, Paul says, to live is Christ and to die is gain. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about dying, I don't think I'm gaining anything. I think that I'm losing it all.
Right.
Right. Because when you die, you're done. It's over.
Donezo.
That's it. Finito. No mas. Right.
You're finished.
So, right. So, but Paul says, to live is Christ and to die is gain. Right. Jesus says, for those, to lead, then you must serve.
Okay.
Right. So it's like, it's there's a battle almost, right, between the natural world and like societal norms and the way we think here.
Right.
Right. That we have, you want to be the best, you got to push, you got to fight, you got to work out, you got to whatever, train, right? You want to be,
you can't let nobody stop you.
Right. If you want a position in your job, then you got to, work your way to the top. And like a lot of people, if you go past people and they're holding you back, then you push them away, or you got to cut yourself off from dead weight. You see a lot of memes that say, oh, well, if you're trying to hold me back, then you're not really my friend. Right. So I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to make it. Or like all these ridiculous things that if you put them against the red letters of Christ, they don't flow. Like that way of thinking is not God's way of thinking.
Doesn't match up.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. They don't meld. And if we are to be Christ-like, right, then our thoughts need to match his thoughts. Like our way of thinking needs to match his way of thinking, because like the kingdom of God is at hand. Right. So if the kingdom of God is at hand and we are right now representing that kingdom, then the way we speak, the way we act, the way we respond to things, right, the way we think has to reflect the kingdom.
Okay.
Right. And in the kingdom, for you to be, the first shall be last.
Okay.
And the last shall be first.
All right.
Right. So, it's like if you try to put, well, I want to be the top designer, right? Then, in the kingdom mentality, then you can't put yourself on top, but you got to put yourself on the bottom and help everybody else, right? Get better at their craft, or maybe even help somebody else get to the top.
Right.
Right. And not because you don't deserve it, but as believers,
right,
everything that we do must be
Yeah.
You know, in the mindset of a servant. You know, we came here, you know, we are to serve each other and serve others.
Okay.
Right. And to bring it in, like by this, you know, we show our love. Right. Because in serving others, you kill whatever selfish thing that's in you.
All
because I personally think that by nature, the natural law of this world, that people are naturally selfish.
Yes.
Right.
We are. I mean,
we're for ourselves.
I mean, you see it in, I mean, you know, not to put a, you know, like a, I mean, maybe not be the best example, but, you know, you've heard this 1,000 times, you know, watch children play. Watch little kids play, like 2, you know, 1, 2, 3-year-olds. Like, you know, it's like instinctively they want what they don't have, and they will push the other kid, or they will hit the other kid, or they will just walk up and just snatch whatever toy from the other kid. And they have there's no like, oh, should I do this or should I not do this? Or how will this kid feel if I take that, you know, Tonka truck? No, they're like, I want that Tonka truck. I'm going to get that Tonka truck. And little Billy's in my way. I'm going to crush little Billy. I'm going to take that Tonka truck.
I'm just going to snatch the truck.
And then people got to tell me, Joaquin, you're too old to be playing with Tonka trucks. And I'm like, hey.
But we see it like Magda sometimes she volunteers in the nursery.
Right.
Right? Well, not anymore. Like she moved to another classroom because when she's there with Cal, like he loses it if she goes to like carry another kid.
Right.
Right. Or if she's playing with another kid, like he'll go and he'll mush them. Like he doesn't care. It's
Right.
like he'll go, he'll mush them. And then he'll cry for her to carry him. Right. So it's like, it's a natural thing. Right. We're selfish. Mine. We're like the seagulls in Finding Nemo.
Right. Right. And that's true. I mean, and we and even in that, even doing, I mean, bringing it kind of into the church and into kind of the church world, we have that mentality. I mean, me and you have talked about, you know, how certain groups will not let like their youth go to certain events because their mindset is, well, if they go to this other church, that other church is going to take them away from me. It's going to take my church members, or it's going to take my youth.
I mean, it happened to me recently.
So you can't go there.
Right. That very thing happened to me recently. Not like that, but it was more like, hey, you know, we want to connect for Outcry to do events. You want to connect. And it was like, oh, well, let me see, because, you know, normally we don't. And it's weird for me because, like, up in New York, when I was growing up in the church, like, we used to, like, connect with all the churches.
Right.
And we used to get on the train and go to another church. If a church was having, like, oh, well, we're having, like, a 2-day tent rally. Right. Oh, we're there.
We're going to,
right. We're going to go. Oh, well, we're having what is it? An overnight service, right? Our service, we're going to have a youth service. We're going to start at 10 and like, we're going to end at 3. It's like, dude. So more church after our church, we're there. Right. And it was dope. And there was never that, oh, well, you know, if you go there, then you're going to stay there. Like we used to go to our pastor. Our pastor was like, is it a church? It's like, yeah. Do they believe in Jesus? Do they believe in the resurrection? Yeah. It's like, then go. Like he was like, he would encourage it. Now, these days, not so much. But like, if we bring it into the church, right? There are a lot of people that in the church, you know, they seek these titles and these positions.
Right. And there's accolades.
Right. And they seek that prestige, right, within the church. They want to, in the name of making Jesus famous, if you look into their hearts, it's really about putting themselves up on a pedestal, right? And for them to be known.
Well, not even necessarily making Jesus famous. In the mentality of trying to be the cool ministry, like the cool thing. We're doing the cool thing, you know.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to be that, oh, we're making Jesus famous, but it's like we've got the cool ministry. Like I met a youth pastor many years ago. They used to average like 500 kids every Wednesday, and I was like, wow, 500 kids. And when I met them, they were averaging like 30 kids, and I was like, what happened? He goes, well, we used to be the cool youth group because we had giveaways, and like they would give away cars. They would have raffles for like cars because the guy's brother owned a used dealership, and he would just donate, you know, cars, and they would do raffles to give away cars, and they would have almost like a carnival like atmosphere, you know, with games and food and all kinds of stuff. And then they do we're going to do like a 15-minute devotional, right? And that's what they would do. And 400 or 500 kids every week, every Wednesday, I think it was. Wow. Can you imagine that? But why were they there? Because they were the cool ministry. Now, the moment God convicted him and he was like, you know what? God wants me to teach these kids the Bible and wants me to teach them how to serve God. They went from 500 to 30 kids when I showed up. But it's because of that, because they he had that switch. He had that flip where he was like, I want to be the cool guy doing the cool stuff, right? Because it bigged him up, made him look good in the eyes of the pastor, made him look good in the eyes of the church, made him look good in the eyes of the community, right?
Right.
You're the guy that's averaging 500 kids. We got 500 kids that come to our church, and so all of that though, right, comes out of a selfishness because we want to be the cool guy, we want to be the cool kid in town, right? And so there's no servanthood in that.
Not at all.
Right. There is, like you were saying, you started, there's that selfishness in that. So go ahead and kind of continue that thought. So then how do we go from, or what are some examples then on how to go from that, trying to get that shine to.
So this is the thing, right? First, you got to put your heart to the test. Right?
Okay.
You got to put your heart to the test, because if you seek first the kingdom of God, right?
Right.
And all his righteousness, so that then these things can be added unto you.
Right.
Right. Then in seeking first the kingdom of God, then you have to take Jesus' example.
Okay.
Right. Take Jesus' example. Right. So I used, as a reference, I use Mark chapter 10. Right, and I focus on verses 43 and 44. But if we look at that, I think from like 32 or
36, I think it was, something like that. Yeah,
right. We've got two disciples who come over to Jesus, like they it's like my interpretation was like all the disciples were together with Jesus, and then these two, I think they're brothers, right? They're brothers.
Yeah.
They come over, slide over to Jesus on the low. And they basically told him, like, dude, yo, Jesus, what up, Joshua? Yo, so check this out, son.
I don't think that's how they talk.
Right? This is me, right? Check this out, son. We're brothers. We love you so much. We listen to everything. Yo, James even took notes of everything that you said. Because we want to follow everything you say. So when you're up in glory, right? Can you make sure that I sit to the left of you and my brother sits to the right of you, just so we can cover you. We want to be your armor bearers in glory or whatever. Right?
I don't think that's in the Bible, Jay.
No, I'm paraphrasing. I
don't think that's even a good paraphrase. But no, you're right.
You know what I'm saying, right? They were looking for that prestige,
right?
Looking for that shine.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Jesus, can I sit
to
one side of
favor?
you?
Let me sit one side,
and me and my brother sit on the other side of you. And it wasn't even like, can I sit next to you now? Here now, they said later when we're all done and we're up in glory, right? Because that word is used when we're in glory. Can I sit to your left and my brother sit to your right?
Right, and then and the scripture actually says your glorious throne. Like so.
My God, just like the shine and the accolades, right? And it's like, and Jesus is like, whoa, yo, wait, hold up a minute, right? So that's the thing. So we're gonna our points, and the first point, and thank you for helping me out with these points because.
That's what I do.
I had a very stressful week, as we already talked about. Right? Taking an L, right? Or taking a loss might mean. They're all going to start like that. Taking an L may mean. Or taking a L might mean.
Taking a loss might mean.
Right? Taking a loss might mean that what you asked Jesus for might not be granted. Like you just might not get it.
Ooh.
Right? And it's not even like some people that say, oh no, sometimes, when you pray and that prayer isn't answered, it's not because it's not being answered. It's because the answer is coming later. You know what? Yeah, that may be true.
That's true.
That may be true. But right now, Jesus.
Sometimes the answer is
no. Right? The answer is now and the answer is no. Oh, I've been praying for this for like 3 months and it's not happening. Take the no. Take the L. right? Take the loss. It's not coming. It's not happening because it's not for you. And that's the thing. Because if we trust Jesus with our everything, then he knows because, he knows better and his ways are higher than our ways, then a no is a no, right? And that's it, right? Papa Dios said no, so that's it. Right? So we're gonna read Mark 10, 37 to 40. It says, and they said to him, grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory. And Jesus said to them, you do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized? And they said to him, yeah, we are able. Right? Almost like if we say no, then we're not going to get to sit next to him. So I'm going to say yes, because then he's going to say, okay, perfect. Right? But he says, all right. And Jesus said to them, the cup that I drink, you will drink. Right? And the baptism with which I am baptized, you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or at my left hand is not mine to grant. Right? But it is prepared for those, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared. Right? So not only is that a no, but if you really think, and you don't even have to dig deep into those scriptures, right? But if you think about what he said, right? Can you drink from the cup from which I drink? Yes, I can. Oh yeah, you can and you will. Right.
You're gonna drink the pain and the persecution.
Right. If we think about the cup,
and all stuff,
the other place that we hear about the cup is when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, crying, asking for God to take this cup from him. Right. The cup of suffering, the cup of persecution. Right. So can you take this cup? Can you drink from this cup? Yeah. If I'm going to sit to your left, then yes, I can. Yeah, you can. And you will suffer, be persecuted. Right. But the baptism is the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I got it. You'll get it too. But what you're asking for, I can't give you. Right. Because even Jesus had to hear from the Father.
Right. He had to submit to the Father.
Right. He submitted to God, the Father, and no is no.
And the Father is going to pick who the Father is going to pick.
Right. No is no. And if we always know that Jesus is sitting at the right hand of the Father. Right. So if somebody's going to sit to his left, well, according to that dynamic, he'll be sitting between the Father and him. And that's not going to happen. Nope. That ain't going to happen. Right. So, he asked them, can you do this? They said, yes. Yes, you can do this. And you will do this. But it's still no.
Right.
Okay. It's still no.
So sometimes when we, so taking a loss means
that what we ask for,
accepting the fact that you might not get what you asked for.
That you might hear a no. Taking the loss is a no.
Okay.
Right. That you're going to pray and ask for something, and Jesus is going to tell you no. Right. And it's not to discourage you. Right. It's not to discourage you because, again, if you trust him with your everything, then you trust that his no is sufficient.
Right.
Right. Because it came from him.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Next, taking a loss means that, that what you asked for may not be granted.
No, we just said that one.
We did just say that.
Yeah. Jay got a little confused.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You got a little confused with his notes.
I did confuzzle. I got confuzzled. That taking a loss might mean that Jesus drinks from the cup of servanthood. Right? So taking that loss might mean that if you want to lead, you want to start this new ministry, you want to be called bishop, you want to be whatever, that, you're not going to get that leadership position. You're not going to be called a bishop. You're going to be called a servant. And sometimes servants clean the church's bathroom. Sometimes servants, they vacuum the floor.
Right. They set up
Sometimes servants set up chairs. They stand at the door and they welcome visitors. Right. That's what servants do. Right. And it's all in the same chapter. Verse 38. Well, we just read that because all these verses, they flow into each other, right?
Right. So we're on verse 42 is kind of where this is going. It says, and Jesus called them to him and said to them, that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. Verse 43, but it shall not be so among you, but whoever will be great among you must be a servant.
Wait. Say that again?
Whoever would be great among you must be your servant.
Your servant.
and whoever would be the first among you must be a slave of all.
So those are two separate things
Right.
that are very strong in what he's saying, right?
Right.
Well, let's go for 3, because even the first part, that the rulers of the Gentiles, they lord it over them. They puff themselves up, and they make sure that you remember
Who they are.
who they are over you.
Right.
That you know what their position is over you. Right. So, but then the next 2 is they're so powerful. Like they're powerful, and just like, even if you are not humble, you read those 2 verses and you're going to be forced to be humbled.
Right.
Right. Because it says, that whoever will be great among you must be your servant. Right. So if you're looking for this high position,
the accolades,
right, and the accolades,
you want to be the coolest guy.
You want the shine,
coolest ministry,
dude. You want that out here, right, outside the kingdom. Then yeah, you get that. You get the shine. You get invited to all the places. Your name is everywhere, right? Within the kingdom, that's not for you, son.
Right.
That's not for you. You want to be there. You want to get the great positions, and go serve under your pastor.
Yes.
Right. Go serve the widow. Go serve the old lady who smells funny. Let's say. Right. Go there and help her out. Sit next to her. Make sure that she's okay. Right. Get her something to eat. Right. The kid that's screaming and crying to the single parent. Right. Instead of complaining about the kid, you go give them a hand. Right. Go be a servant. Right. And then it's not even to the people in church. Be a servant to all, because the next one, it says, whoever want to be first, you must be a slave of all. And that's the thing. Like, we were talking about this on our way over here, that a slave has no choice but to serve. Right. A slave can't question his master. A slave can't say, you know what? Well, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. Right. A slave can't quit. Right. So a slave has no choice but to serve. So in this kingdom dynamic, you have no choice but to serve everyone. Others. To be a servant to everyone.
And the interesting thing about, when you talk about slaves too is, if a slave showed himself or herself to be a good worker, right, then the master would give them more responsibilities. Joseph is a perfect example of this, right?
Right.
He started off, he's like in the jail, right? Let's start him with him in the jail. Okay. Right. So he starts off in the jail, and he helps the guys in the jail, and then the keeper of the jail, he works for him, and he kind of builds up, right? And then from there, right, he meets Pharaoh. Pharaoh gives him more responsibility, but he was still a slave, right? He served his Pharaoh, right, to where he got put in the position, right, so that when there was the famine, he was able to help. He was able to help who? His family.
Help his family,
right?
And help.
He was like the second most powerful.
All of Israel.
And he was the second most powerful dude in all of Egypt. Right? But it didn't start with him coming in going, "Hey, I'm gonna be the dude here."
Right. And it didn't start with him saying, "Hey, I went to this school. I studied under this person.
Matter of fact,
I was the armor bearer of this person. I served under this prestigious pastor and this prestigious leader."
Matter of fact, Joseph got in trouble because he got cocky. Remember, because he tells his brothers, "Hey, I had a dream where you guys are gonna bow down to me.
Right, well, you guys were serving me."
And his brother's like, "Oh, really? We're going to chop that attitude." And they sold him into slavery, right?
Right? So, there's that. Be a servant. Be a servant. Be a servant. To be a leader, right? To be first, then you have to be a slave of all. So that's the thing. Like, it's a challenge to our way of thinking. Right? Because
it's a challenge to our pride.
Because the societal dynamic is, I reference in the devotional that DJ Khaled song is like, all I do is win, no matter what. And that's the mentality that we have. And that's the mentality that's pushed upon us outside of the kingdom. But within the kingdom, you can't. In order for you to win,
right,
you got to take the loss.
You got to serve. You got to
be a servant.
You got to put others above you. Yes.
Right? But it's I'm about to show my age, but so what? This old movie, one of the best movies to show Puerto Rican culture is this movie, I Like It Like That.
I
remember that movie, right? The one thing that I take away still to this day from that movie was at the end when the dude was trying to fix his marriage. At the very ending,
right?
He tells his wife, marriage isn't about you. Marriage is about the other person. Right?
Right.
And he said that, and like that just blew my mind, right? Because that dynamic should be, or that way of thinking should be our way of thinking within as believers, right? Because as believers, it's got to be about the other person.
Right.
No matter what that person is going through, no matter what that person does, says, how they act, how they think, that's got nothing to do with you. Right? To be Christ-like or to show the kingdom to that person, you have to serve that person.
Right.
Right.
And this is really important too, especially if you feel like you've got a call to ministry or like you've got a call to some kind of leadership, in the church.
Right.
Because, we can get so caught up in wanting to be leaders that we never learn how to serve. And then we wonder why people don't heed us or follow us or listen to us because, why should I? You've never even been in the trenches with me.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of, that's how we think. I mean, right or wrong of the other person thinking that way, but as someone who wants to be that leader, and it's not to berate you if you want to be a leader, that's amazing, but the mentality has to be what Jesus said. You have to take my cup. You're going to take my cup. You're going to take my baptism. You're going to have to go through these things, but ultimately you have to put other people first.
Right.
Right. The leaders that are successful are the leaders who even in the secular realm, right? The successful leaders are the ones that figure out that, they've got to give to their employees and make their employees feel like they're part of what's going on for them to. So you can't, a person can't come to a church and feel like they're part of the church if, all it is you're up on this kind of pedestal that you've
built for yourself.
That you placed yourself on. Like nobody even built it for you. You built it yourself. You try to do like what was it, Nebuchadnezzar, right? You try to build your own false idol.
Right. And then and our last point is that sometimes taking an L or taking a loss might, and we touched on this just now, might look like, using Jesus as an example.
Yes.
Right. And we see that in Mark 10:45, he says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Right? So he said it there himself. I came here not to be served, but to serve. Right? And then
and it's funny because he said a ransom, right? So he's telling them, and they're not really catching it, but he's telling them, I came here to die for you. I came here to serve and ransom myself for you. Like I'm gonna be the one that pays.
Right. I'm gonna be the price.
Yes.
Right. I'm gonna be that because that's what a ransom is. Right. Right. If they kidnap your dog, right. Well, we're gonna hold your dog for a $500 ransom. Pay the ransom, and you get your dog back. Right. So he's telling them, hey, I came here to serve you, not for you guys to serve me. Right. I came here to serve and to pay the price for you.
Right.
Right. For many, for everyone. Right. And then another example that we see of Jesus being a servant is in John chapter 10, where he washes the disciples' feet.
Right.
Right. Like it's funny because they all follow him for all these years. They're in his ministry. They see him doing all these miracles and whatever. And then they see him humble himself. Right. Get on his hands and knees and wash their feet.
Because if you think of it, like if anyone had any reason to like really act like, they were the bee's knees, like
the bee's
whatever, right? It was. I mean, if you kind of follow, it was Jesus, right? Because Jesus was going around going like, "Hey, I raised people up from the dead, yo.
Right?
I just healed. Like, you saw that blind guy over there? I spit in his eyes, and he got to see."
It's funny you say that because actually, after he tells him that, that's when they meet up with Bartimaeus.
Right? So he's like, so he could, Jesus could have, he could have had that mentality of, look at what I have done.
Right.
So if anything, you should do for me.
I mean,
right. I fed thousands with like 5 loaves of bread,
and he wasn't afraid. Right. He wasn't afraid of saying, that he and the Father are one. He wasn't afraid of saying, I am the Messiah. He's like, my Father, God, and I are the same person.
Right.
How long, when Philip asked him, just show us the Father, it'll be enough. And he said, how long have I been with you that you don't recognize me? Right. So like showing or saying who he was, like he had no problem with that. But at the same time, he got on his hands and knees and he washed their feet.
Right.
Right. He always passed it on to them so that they can see.
Right.
That he came here to serve everyone, to be the servant.
But that's the thing, right? You can't stand up and just say, I am this person.
Right.
Look at all the things I've done. And have people receive it, in a good way. If you don't have the other side of that coin, which is the people knowing that your ultimate goal, or the way you ultimately view your ministry or your life is, going to serve you.
And like you said,
there's that balance.
Even secularly, in one of my jobs, I heard someone say one time that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Right. And that's outside of the kingdom, right? That's outside of the kingdom, trying to teach you how to, you could be a good leader, but you got to be a good leader by like serving your employees, or showing your employees that you actually care for them more than just what they do for you and your company.
Right.
Right. So, and we can actually say that that's something that is taken from the Bible, but put in ways that could be understood outside of the Bible, right? Because like, Jesus, not one time did he throw his weight around, right? Or like force them to know and to repeat and to berate them because he's the Son of God.
Right.
I'm the Messiah. You do what I say, you do what I tell you, and that's it. Right? Because then that probably would have made Judas very happy. Right?
Right.
And
maybe we don't know.
Well, that's what I said. That's like probably. We're not doing that. But in John 10, it says that, like, it's specified that he even washed Judas's feet, knowing that Judas was to betray him. Right. That was specific. Right. So that's the deal. Right. So take the loss, take the L. I used take the L because it was cooler, but cool. I'm too old for that. But the deal is this, that if we are kingdom people and we want a kingdom mentality, that kingdom mentality should be a servant mentality.
Okay.
Right? We should have the mindset of a servant to serve others no matter what. Because that's what Jesus did. And he didn't just say it, he showed it.
Right. All through scripture, whenever you look at everything Jesus did, other than when he was overthrowing tables, right? It was about helping. It was about helping someone, casting demons, healing, calming the storm.
Right.
There was all kinds of lessons in that, right? But and even when he said, like, do you have no faith? Like, look, quiet. But it was the underlying thing of all of that was that he did it because he was going to die on the cross, and so he was showing us all of that through the thread of the Gospels,
right?
The Jesus servanthood,
right?
Jesus servanthood. So with that being said, we've run out of time. So hey, we hope you guys have a great weekend. Go to church. prayers.
And taking L.
And taking L. We'll talk to y'all next week. My name is Joaquin.
And I'm Jay.
And this is the Overflow Podcast at thisisoutcry.com. Talk to you guys next week.
Bye.